Welcome, everyone, to the Real Whovians cast, episode 955. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Philip. What's up, Philip? Oh my God, you're muted! Or can't hear you! Okay.
All right. Good morning, Joe. How are you?
Good morning. Okay. What is up, Scott? Hello, Scott.
Hello.
Hello. What's up, Connor?
I may or may not be the last Jedi.
That's right. Or a gray Jedi. Or whatever. All right. So here's the thing. Doctor Who Marathon on BBC America has been on all day. It's going to be on all day tomorrow. So it's like 48 hours or whatever of wonderfulness in heaven. Okay? Because we got Doctor Who 48 hours straight. Okay?
When does that start again? I forget.
Fantastic. So it's been on all day. I didn't watch it all day. But just finished. Well, I didn't finish. I just left to listen. Okay? And I'm watching this and I'm like, and this is a Matrix Lord speculation. So, everybody panic because I sometimes go out there, okay? And sometimes,
No, never you.
Sometimes, and I'm the one that likes to dare it because some people like to play it safe, but I dare. I'm into the friggin'. I can't even say the damn saying I'm gonna say. Maybe it's I'm having too much unicorn poop. All right, but anyway, no.
Colorful.
We'll talk about our sponsor in a little bit. All right, so anyway, yeah, I'm raving the Rapids. Here's the thing. Listen, all right? One of the great episodes of Series 8, right? What if Listen is connected to Series 10 because the creature under the sheet is actually connected to the truth. Because the creature underneath the sheet lasted to the end of time, and we know that the Doctor has been at the end of time when he was the 10th Doctor, and when he was the 11th Doctor, and when he was the 12th Doctor. And there's a lot of people visiting the end of time. The Time Lords, Missy, the Sisterhood of Khan, and also Clara, the 12th Doctor, and Orson Pink, which, what if it's connected to the monks, the truth? I mean, I'm just trying to put it out there because you know what? There's some things that are connected with time travel, and they were always hiding these creatures from Listen. We don't know what they were, but they were for some reason.
Because he always made the comment, isn't it funny? You start talking to yourself when there's no one around.
These things last
to
the end of time. So did a Shilda. So did a Shilda or me. So what if this is connected to the Time Lords? This is connected to Missy. This is connected to the Truth monks. What if these creatures from Listen are connected to that? Or maybe not. Maybe it's just a freaking figment of Matrix Lord's imagination. I don't know, but...
Oh, a Mandela effect.
But I got to tell... Well... we're not retcon here, but I got to tell you that there are a lot of plot holes never solved. What if Moffat's filling the holes?
That's a lot of holes to fill.
What if he's starting to fill them, man? What if he's starting to fill some of the holes?
To fill the one with Amy and Rory with the...
Maybe he's got a list because the Christmas special, he tried to fill that hole a little bit. It's kind of halfway.
Yeah.
Creating a way to travel to Amy and Rory and fix in New York. In a Christmas special called The Return of Dr. Mysterio that nobody was expecting.
Yeah.
I think Moffat's starting to plug the holes or try to. So what if he has his own weird twisted list of things that he needs to fix and things he doesn't need to fix. And that's one of those things that he's tying everything in. What do you say, Connor?
I blame it on the gaddis of the eye.
I want to see what Connor has to say first.
No.
Okay. Well, thank you for your honesty, sir.
Because the purpose of Listen was that it was a psychological thriller. Rather than and normal. It was supposed to test. It was a bit like Heaven Sent. It was supposed to test the format of Doctor Who. And it did. It got a lot of crap from people. It got a lot of praise. Same with Heaven Sent, got a lot of crap.
But the creatures were real.
No, the creatures were the creatures. There was no monster.
Why is that?
This is the episode with no monster because it's not about the monster. It's about the fact that as Scott said, when you talk to yourself, it was.
Yes, but the monster in Listen was real with Rupert Pink.
What?
The monster in his bed was real.
No, I don't think so.
I think so.
Whether
they knocked on the they knocked on the ship that the TARDIS landed in. They're banging on the door. He unlocked it.
I don't think. Listen is a very, very hard episode to describe the purpose of. It was a psychological thriller. It was not. It was supposed to be different from the rest.
Correct.
I think you have to think less about what was under the covers or what was outside the TARDIS or what was outside the airlock.
Mm-hmm.
When the Doctor opened the door, when he assumed that there was nothing out there because it was just like the end of the
There's
world.
pretty much an invisible enemy of unknown.
But it wasn't really invisible because if you looked outside the window, there was flying creatures on the planet.
Was there?
Yes.
But who were those creatures doing the knocking?
So to say that every life in the universe was dead, but then there's flying creatures on this planet, what is that?
I think it was more about. It was more about looking into an aspect of a character rather than.
Well, it was. What if it was a twofold thing? What if it was yes, what you say, but also another meaning?
I know how. Right, I know how to describe it, and I remember this is something that Stephen Moffat said.
Oh, you believe Stephen Moffat? Okay, yeah.
The episode is about what the Doctor does when we don't see him on screen, because he is a madman mathematician / scientist. He's always theorizing. He's always testing science. He was trying to, if you remember, at the very beginning of that episode, there's a very, very, very good montage of him looking at things that can survive through hunting,
Yes.
various survival techniques. He was trying to find the perfect thing that can hide.
Right.
From
And
playing
supposedly there might have been something in the TARDIS that was hiding. That was playing tricks, possibly.
And I think that it was trying to implicate that the perfect hidden thing is the voice that is when you talk to yourself.
Yes.
That is it. That you are essentially trying to talk to a hidden person, whether you're talking to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And you because when you're always talking to yourself, you sort of imagine that there's a person there.
But
look at the conversations you have with yourself, the debates.
Yeah,
are you really debating yourself, or you're debating with whatever invisible or unknown that's in the room?
It's a bit like talking to another version of yourself, like face to face. Like if you do something wrong and you're trying to teach yourself something to correct that mistake, you're talking to yourself to try and teach that mistake.
That's fine, but the Doctor put a chalk in a folded book where there's no possible way that chalk could walk away because the chalk is not alive. It's in a folded book, and there's no way it could fall. And it just not only did it disappear from the book, but it was in another location on the floor.
What if that was him doing it subconsciously without him realizing he's doing it?
No, because he is not insane like the Master is.
That's nothing to do with insanity. It's just a point of something you're doing something subconsciously. It's like when you put your keys down somewhere and then you turn around and you go, where did I put them? And then you realise you forgot that you put them elsewhere. That kind of thing.
I don't think so. I think that it was like, you know, you had to use your brain with it, but I also think there was a hidden meaning because there's a lot of things. We'll look at Midnight. There was this. He was actually petrified.
That was one of my favorites.
The doctor actually was basically defeated, was petrified, and he had to have someone having enough caring in their heart to save him. He was done. He was defeated. There was a presence, an alien that he never encountered before, that was evil, that you couldn't see was outside. So that's why Midnight.
He was facing his ultimate fear, as John Pertwee would say.
He was genuinely afraid that he had to hug Donna, like scared, and he never went back there. That's interesting, and you didn't see what was outside. Just like listen, that you know, but with listen, I saw flying things, but again. There is a party going on, like it's the end of time, where everybody is invited. Lucy Saxon is there with the Master, with friggin', I mean, they're all there. Not in the same spot, but different parts of Blackness, but they're all there. And my thing is, there has to be a reason. Like, Moffat doesn't just do things. It always leads to something else. Like, if you remember, okay, Clara was having dinner with Danny Pink, and she said, say something nice.
Ouch.
She said, say something nice. And this was before Missy appeared. You know? There is like, he does these, would you stop with your camera? There is, Moffat does these things to allude to other things. Whether it be a piece of dialogue that only he's privy to know that happens in the later episodes, or something that connects one episode to another. Now, why would he feel it's important, Connor, to put that he had to have, him and Nardo had to fix the problem in New York to visit Amy and Rory? Like, why would he put that in the Christmas special?
Hang on, we're not even sure that was the case, though.
Well, he wants to travel in New York different times without being blocked.
I think it's just a throwaway thing. Like, yeah, okay, it's sorted again. That's like it. The plot hole originally was a one-story thing. It had to happen like that to make that seem like a believable scenario. We never for 1 second thought that he'd never go back to New York.
Right. He always would have to find a way to fix it, which that's exactly what he's trying to do. Whether it would be the same Amy and Rory or just travel to New York.
So rather than dedicating an episode to fixing that really tiny problem, you just have it as a throwaway reference.
Well, it was like a 5-minute thing, though. It was.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and that it connected a very important part of Moffat's era with that. So I think there's no way to look at it other than just like a throwaway thing.
Yeah. You know, it's funny, but sometimes you pick up things when you see episodes a million times. And you keep watching it, you know. So when I'm watching Face the Raven today, I'm saying to myself, well, if the Doctor and Ishilda say that this time wraith or whatever thing is, it could travel through time to kill the person, right? And if Clara is traveling through time with the TARDIS and she has the 0 on her neck, wouldn't it be traveling through time to kill her when she's with Ishilda traveling in the Dino TARDIS? And wouldn't that create a paradox because she wouldn't be killing the Clara in the past? She'd be killing the Clara, the time wraith would kill Clara wherever she's traveling to.
What I thought would have been kind of smooth for them to do is have the wraith be actually Clara, had somehow replaced her. And that's the reason why Schilder eventually left, because he realized she was the wraith, and the main mother of Khan was trying to hint to the Doctor that this is not the real Clara in her conversation.
I don't think that's weird. I don't think it'll be that. But I didn't notice, going back and watching the season, that there was a lot of things with Ravens with Clara in different episodes. There was like in Death in Heaven, it was like ravens, like crackling around, like when Clara was around, it was like weird. And even like throwaway lines with Unit, like, oh, feed the robotic ravens. So maybe Moffat had this in place for a while, or whoever, to kill her off. But I think that, let me think. Connor, you don't think he's going to solve any mysteries at all?
No, because this series is a reboot. And from what I've heard about the pilot, it really is a reboot. He doesn't give a fuck about the past now. He just wants to reform the show.
I see. So there's not going to be any connection to anybody.
He wants to get your 2-year-old nephew to watch Doctor Who and to enjoy it and to understand it. He wants to get your 5-year-old niece to watch it and understand it. He wants all age ranges to understand it.
But how could you understand it if it's not connected to the other series? It's connected to John Sim because the Master.
Because
it's the stepping on spot, like they would say with comic books.
Yeah, the pilot. From what I've heard, and I think Philip's also read some of the reviews, it is the simplest form of Doctor Who that you could ever imagine. It is basically
going back to
beginner level to watch.
The Doctor.
Yeah, that's pretty much an earthly child in a way.
We will probably be mourning because we've seen this story a billion times before.
I mean, I don't want to compare it to an earthly child, but you're saying that this is dumbed down for us or dumbed down for the Bill character.
It's just a dumping on point for anybody else.
Dumbed down for newcomers.
There is zero complexity to this story. It's basically, this is how it'll go. The Doctor meets Bill. He takes Bill on an adventure. They meet a monster in the form of Heather. Heather chases them around for a bit. They visit another planet. They go see the Daleks. They have to run away from the Daleks for 5 minutes. They go back to the university. End of episode.
Yeah, more or less.
Where's the complexity in that? Yeah, like that. That is like we'd be able to recite the entire story.
You basically got the introduction. You got the conflict. You got the the crisis between the two, sort of like the doubting between the Doctor and his companion, and then the resolution.
Yeah, it's basically a 4-act. Yeah, as Scott said, there, it's a simple 4-act.
It's basically a 12th Doctor's Tour de France for Bill, just to see what he does, what's he about, what's he about. That's all it is.
And I am actually going to go out on a punt here, and I say I'm going to fancy every episode of Series 10 being like that. I don't think you're going to get any timey-wimey sort of shite.
Unless after Extremis probably.
Extremis could be the exception because that sounds quite timey-wimey, and I think that the explanation about the Mondasian and Simon might be quite complex. Yeah. But I don't see particularly the first 3 episodes, maybe even 4, being particularly heavy on the sort of...
No, they're going to be straightforward.
Theorising about. So, like, you know, like there's something in the corner of the room that we can see, and that might be.
That's what he mentioned in the listing. The corner of your eye, behind the mirror, and Moffat keeps repeating himself.
Yeah, well, there's
or the Family of Blood ending where he traps somebody in the mirror.
Yeah.
It'll be ridiculously simplistic and dumbed down that you probably get bored of it after like 4
episodes. First of all, no, I totally disagree because I'll tell you why. We're watching 54 years of Doctor Who. So why do we have to dumb it down now when, like, we've been watching it for, not that we've been watching it for 54 years, but we've seen most of the episodes. So now, does he think dumbing it down to the audience is going to make the ratings go up? Maybe it has to do with the writing, that he's just not answering questions. If he actually answered the damn questions, people would be satisfied finally to say, you know what? Yes, I'm glad Moffat did this and explained it totally to a T. But his thing is, he's used to moths eating at his shirts. And he's used to wearing holy shirts, I guess, because he doesn't explain anything. And that is the problem. So he thinks we're stupid.
It's almost as though he's hoping that somebody else will pick up his storyline and lead it up and try to do the deal there.
I find that insulting. That, like, he sees himself with his intellect because here's the thing: when he answers somebody about they don't understand why this is, and he answers like whatever, like he knows what it is in his head, but we're not telepathic.
We're not privy to
if he actually explained it in the episode, people would be like satisfied, but he doesn't. And instead of he doesn't explain it ever. And what happens is now you've got seasons of plot holes and angry Whovians who are used to not having Doctor Who appear for over a year. And we're like, we want more. We don't want less. We're not stupid. We don't want to be dumbed down because he can't answer a damn question. So I don't want to see a dumb friggin' season of Doctor Who that's just stupid.
It's not going to be dumb in that way. It's going to be smart. But what he doesn't have to convince us, because regardless whether we found Series 9 to be crap,
fans are going to watch nonetheless.
Yeah, we're going to watch it.
He's just trying to bring in the newcomers who are not familiar with Doctor Who, and that's the reason why he's probably also using like the double entendre of the first episode as.
Well, that's the purpose of the companion.
He has to give your next door neighbour that doesn't watch Doctor Who a reason to tune in and to see if they like it.
Fine, you could do that with the companion and seeing it through her eyes.
Yeah,
that is the pilot. It's
right. The pilot.
And you have to remember, throughout this season, he's paving a way for people to jump into Chibnall's era when he comes along. Because he's laying down the brickwork for Chibnall and said, there you go, I've done my bit. This is what Chibnall got to offer you as well.
And grab you with me going out, and then you got Chibnall to see, ooh, what has he got in store? If this is how he does things, then Chibnall should be able to do even better and raise the stakes.
There you go.
I think to perfectly summarize what I'm trying to say about this series, it's paint by numbers Doctor Who.
Oh, fuck. Fuck that. Fuck that.
It's not going to be all the way through.
Nobody wants to. Come on, Connor.
Certainly the first quarter of the series will be like that.
How would a paint by number Star Wars work out? Would that work out pretty well? Not really.
Well, we saw that with the prequel.
Rogue One was not a paint by numbers by far in any means. That was complexity and war, and they raised the bar for all Star Wars movies to be like that. That was definitely not paint by number by any means. That was complexity. Complexity. You do a paint by number of Doctor Who, the ratings are going to go in the toilet. I guarantee it, because
I'm not convinced, because David's Series 3 and Series 4, by contrast to the other series, was paint by numbers Doctor Who.
What was paint by numbers for Doctor Who?
Series 3 and Series 4.
Series 3 with Utopia Sounds of the Drums, Last of the Time Lords?
Yeah.
That was
paint by numbers?
It was in.
That was not paint by numbers.
Right. I can describe the entire plot of that 3-part, right? The Doctor, Martha, and Jack go to the end of the world, the end of the universe. They see the future kind. They meet a mad professor. Turns out to be the Doctor's long-lost arch-enemy, the Master. The Master travels back in time, becomes Prime Minister of the UK, leader of the world because he kills the president, of course, and then forms an alien invasion to wipe out the human race, which is what he's always wanted.
And that wasn't paint by number because they explained in those 3 episodes, Connor, that the Master was the chosen one by the Time Lords, resurrected. He ran away, and he used the chameleon arts to erase his memory, which is complexity, and put it into a fob watch, which later was such a great disguise he forgot who he was.
I thought he put himself in the fob watch because of the Time War.
He was scared of the Daleks. He was scared of everything.
Of the Time War, yeah.
Yeah. But that was explained in the 3 parts. That's complexity. It's also complexity that he traveled to the end of time with Lucy Saxon, where she lost her effing mind, seeing everybody dead, and she became like a goddamn zombie after a while, where she's like, okay, everybody dead, like brainwashed. They had a timeline that was altered, and then altered back through a chaos paradox machine. That is not paint by numbers by any means.
That
is complexity.
I'm not claiming all 28 episodes of those series or whatever was all paint by numbers. I'm claiming that most of it was paint by numbers, right? Right,
what you're trying to say is if most of it was easy watching without having to tax your brain too much.
This series,
but you're trying to say it's easy watching it. You're a Whovian. So how can you say that? The only person that can say it's easy watching is someone who's not a Whovian. So you're trying to. Yeah. I'm just saying you're trying to surmise what it would be like if you're not a Whovian. But that's not.
Why do you think Series 4 is one of the most popular series?
Because you had the Daleks, and you had Davros, and you had Donna Noble, and you had Martha Jones, and you had Rose Tyler, and you had Wilfred and his daughter, and you had everybody. It was connected. It was an intricate plot.
Wrong. It was because it was focusing more on the adventure than the science behind the series.
The science?
Chibnall wants to go back to the adventure.
You're saying wait, we're gonna forget about Chibnall. You're saying that series 4 was like paint by number, not complex in any way. You had creatures from an alternate dimension that were part of the Trickster Brigade that altered Donna Noble's timeline. The whole timeline was altered completely.
Yes, but that was simply.
That is paint by number.
It was.
And then you had to explain that, and then Rose came from an alternate timeline with the help of an alternate unit that teamed up with this unit because she teamed up with this unit in this reality to use the energy from the TARDIS to fix the timeline with Donna Noble. Then you had the Stolen Earth, you had the Journey's End, you had a doctor that his hand was cut off, and the Regenerate. That is complex. That is not paint by number in any way.
I think you're reading too much into it.
Yeah. You're over complexing the story runs. Basically.
No, but it was great. That's what I'm trying to say. The complexity of it was great, but it was
fantastic.
Love and Monsters is paint by number.
But look at
Love and Monsters is paint by number. Jackie Tyler doing the laundry. No, I'm sorry. Jackie Tyler doing the laundry, and the doctor just running down the corridor with Rose, and then this guy tried to be famous. Love and Monsters was paint by number.
Right. Let's go through Series 4. Let's focus on Series 4, right?
No, I don't want to go by Series 4. I want to do Series 10.
Right. No, well, because I think Series 4 is what Series 10 is going to be.
They went to the planet of the Ood, okay? Which was off-world, by the way. And
off-world, right? There we go.
It was not paint by number. You found out through song that they were speaking. Their pain and agony was in the intricacy of the song. That was so moving and powerful that Donna Noble cried her eyes out.
It was moving, but because it's moving doesn't mean it's complex.
That was complex. They turned the guy into an Ood. That was not simple.
That's not complex. That's just a visual spectacle.
That's just how things work.
Fires of Pompeii, one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's historical.
Fantastic.
It's historical with an alien. It's not complex. It's just a basic paint by numbers story. Partners in Crime, a modern
crime drama
based on a slightly social statement of, everyone wants to be skinny and look great.
The reason why I find, here's the thing, I'm not trying to be disrespectful in any way to you, but when you say here in America, when you say paint by numbers, right? Paint by numbers is for 5-year-olds or 4-year-olds.
Exactly.
That is not even for teenagers, not even for adults.
That is
not
what
even. But you can't have a 5-year-old look at like Utopia, Sound of Drums, Legends of Time Lords, and then understand what the hell is happening.
Well, maybe he means easy viewing episodes.
When my kids were young, you know what episode I started them with Doctor Who?
What's that?
Battlefield.
That's an easy viewing episode.
That's paint by numbers.
Kind of, yeah.
That's paint by numbers. It was straightforward. They're on Earth. Bad guy here, good guy here. There you go. That's it. And that was as paint numbers as you can get, and they loved it, and they became Whovians. There you go. If I would have put like a Moffat confusing as hell shit like on that, they would never be Whovians. They would never be Whovians. It's like you have to start them with the classic series. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
you can't jump onto Doctor Who, watch, listen, or heaven
of
send,
course not. But that's his fault.
and then say, well, okay, I like this. I understand this series. You're better off.
It seems to me that Russell T Davies got a lot of new fans and fangirls and everything because he got people to jump on with no problem. But Moffat has a problem because he doesn't know how to answer a question.
But Russell was more adventurous. He was more about he was more about the sort of
the social aspect.
Character-driven episodes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, character-driven.
Yeah, he made it more character-driven, whereas Moffat is more about complex storylines, really sort of powerful.
Moffat does character-driven, but then when he's in a mood, he forgets about character-driven. And then it's like, Brian, oh yeah, they died, but that's all right, Brian. You know,
really,
sorry, you can't see your son Rory, but whatever.
I'm
sorry.
Like Russell T Davies would rather take you to Mars and meet a Martian than
right.
Whereas Stephen Moffat would take you to meet a scientist who would then explain the theory of reality to you.
You would rather Moffat would rather see
boring as fuck, basically.
More spent. And
the bootstrap paradox. Did you ever hear this?
Yeah,
I'm going to break the fourth wall. Explain that to you.
You would rather have Doctor Who as a really complex science lesson than an adventure show. Which
that's where you got it wrong. Because you're
you're
supposed to enjoy yourself when you're watching Doctor Who, not learn a lesson. Yeah, I enjoyed myself when I watched Moffat's Girl in the Fireplace because guess what? Russell T Davies told him what to do and what not to do.
Yeah,
perfection.
You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. Yeah.
And Blink.
He went wrong by making it far too complex, and he's now having to compensate with that with his final series.
He went wrong because he let his ego get in the way, and nobody could tell him anything. And it's exactly what happened with George Lucas when he was doing episode 1, and nobody told him that the battle droid sucked. And nobody told him that Jar Jar Binks sucked. Because they were all afraid of him. And guess what happened? Thank you.
The movie sucked.
Well, it didn't suck, but it was just certain aspects of it sucked. You know, you got a little black spot on it. So Moffat's like, oh, you could write a Doctor Who, but I'm going to tell you what to write. And see, that's the problem right there. Because Russell T. Davies let Moffat write whatever he wanted to and didn't even check his shit. But then he checked it when he was writing and say, okay, we can do this, but we can't do this. We can do this, but we can't do this. Now, that's it. That's why Moffat's greatest stuff, the Doctor dances, you know, the empty child, the girl in the fireplace, Blink, all this stuff was effing wonderful. Okay? Because he had someone to check his work. It Girl in the Fireplace explained everything. Okay? Empty Child explained everything. It explained why the kid came back to life and how to fix it. Story is over. You don't even go back. And that's the whole point. That is the point. When you have a story that has a beginning, middle, and end, it's fantastic. When you're left with, I'm not sure what happened, then that carries over into another episode where you're like, I'm not sure.
As though I'll be the devil there. It's almost as though there were times when Moffat thought, I'm going to explore this in a later season maybe, and then later season became a later season, and now he's at the end of his tenure, and it's I got to cover my tuchus and close up all these holes I've created.
Well, no, he's not. No, Connor said he's not.
He's not going to do that.
I know. I'm just.
But Connor, don't you see Moffat's greatest work, right? You could tell me if I'm wrong, dude. He, under Russell T. Davies made him create an end, made him create an answer to the episode. So we had a finality of the empty child, the doctor dances. Done.
Yeah.
You had
Moffat's episodes in Russell T Davies' era was more Russell.
Was perfect.
Yeah, it was more Russell's vision of Doctor Who than Stevens was.
But it was his story. He had Russell didn't even give him the idea. He just did his own. He had the freedom to do his own.
Moffat has written some great classics in his own era. Heaven Sent being one that I keep mentioning.
Yes.
Listen is one that I would. Dark Water's another. Dark Water wasn't complex.
Dark Water is different.
Listen and Heaven Sent were, but they're not jumping on points. And also, when he gets it right sometimes, he gets it wrong most of the time. He's outdone himself with complexity more than he can handle as a writer. I doubt anyone would be able to handle that much complexity that he's tried to pile on to Doctor Who.
Connor, we could write a book about every single plot hole Moffat ever created, and it would probably take 20 seasons to solve it.
Yeah, well, honestly, don't expect to get any answers to any of them.
And you know what? Don't you think that that's a negative niche on his career as a showrunner?
No, because I think in a way, as people have with Russell, you have to think more.
I have noticed something though a lot of times. When he's focused more on Sherlock, his stories leave more open endings than when he's not working on Sherlock.
Yeah, he did tend to prioritize Sherlock an awful
Sherlock
lot.
was perfect.
He should be remembered. He's certainly going to be remembered as one of the most inconsistent showrunners because he found patches of consistency. Series 8 in total was a very good patch of consistency. Series 5 was as well, which was his first. But he's up and down. He's more up and down than any showrunner I can think of.
I know.
You never know where you stand with him.
He could go to the end of time. He could threaten the whole universe to blow up to save Clara, but he can't fix the problem to save Amy and Rory in the past. That's just ridiculous. He could save Ashilda and make her be immortal, but he can't save Amy and Rory. It doesn't make any sense. You could save the Time Lords in Gallifrey and save billions of people, but you can't save Amy and Rory. This is what I'm talking about. This is his inconsistency.
Yeah.
It makes no effing sense.
But why would you want to save Amy and Rory? What's happened has happened. You can't.
Because it's his fault. First of all, what about the rule that he was zapped back in time with Martha? He got in TARDIS and took off. When that screw up, wouldn't the Weeping Angels go after Martha Jones for the rest of her life? So why are they going after Rory and Amy? If they're not going after Martha, they don't give a shit about Martha.
Because they've met Amy and Rory before.
No, but the Weeping Angels, if Amy and Rory escaped and went back into the present, why are the Weeping Angels going? He said they'll chase after you forever, right? So what? You leave them in the but Martha was freed with the Doctor, with the TARDIS. So they'd be like, oh no, we lost the time energy because she was put back into her own timeline. We got to go after her. That makes no sense that the Weeping Angels don't go after Martha. That the Doctor fixed it, but then he goes after Amy and Rory. It doesn't make any sense because he creates a hole. So technically, you have to put Amy and Rory back because it should be a paradox that they're there in the first place. Because she had all the energy from the time cracks that all these different things, it could be reversed and it could destroy the universe for her to be in the past, I think. But anyway, now we're getting into this crazy, we're going to go into the next cast. It's really interesting, though, when we get to talk about this stuff. Like, we get motivated because, right, Connor?
Yep.
I mean, the stuff just, stuff comes out of nowhere, like the Amy, Rory, and Martha thing. So, yeah. All right, we'll be back.
To be continued.
Take care. Bye for now.